Good morning, class. My name is Harmon Angelo Serrano, but in this class, I want you guys to address me as Ginoong Magiting. Yeah, you heard it right. Ginoong Magiting. Alright, so how are you guys? How are you, class? Right? Please all stand for a prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Alright, before you take your seat, kindly pick up all the pieces of paper under your table. You may now take your seat. Alright, class monitor. Do we have a complete attendance, or what is the status of our attendance for today's class? Do we have a complete attendance? That's great. Very good. A round of applause. Let's go. Alright, before we go ahead and proceed with our proper lesson, can somebody tell me or can give me a recap regarding our previous lesson? Anyone? Alright? Okay, thank you for that wonderful answer. How about the others? Okay. That's good. Alright. So before we go ahead and proceed with our lesson, I just prepared a video for you, and this is related in our lesson for the day. Here it is.
In Navy SEAL training, there is something called drown proofing, where they bind your hands behind your back, tie your feet together, and drop you into a 9-foot pool. Your job is to survive for 5 minutes. Now, like Navy SEAL training in general, most people who attempt drown proofing fail at it. But some people make it, and they do so because they understand two counterintuitive lessons. The first lesson of drown proofing is paradoxical. The more you struggle to keep your head above water, the more likely you are to sink and drown. See, the trick to drown proofing is to actually let yourself sink. You let yourself sink to the bottom of the pool, and then you push yourself off the bottom to come back to the top, where you gain another breath, and you repeat the cycle over again. So in a strange way, drown proofing doesn't require you to have superhuman strength or an insane...
Alright, class, after watching the video, can somebody or anyone can share their thoughts or learnings about the video? Anyone? Yes, anyone? Can you give a shot? Alright. Yung makasagot ng tamang sagot, makasagot ng tama, bigyan natin ng 3 palakpak. At isang wow. Alright? 1, 2, 3, wow! Right, can be easy as that. Come on, don't be shy. Alright, anyone? What have you learned or what have you observed or noticed about the video? Alright, show off. Give a shot. Alright, thank you for that wonderful answer. 1, 2, 3, go! Alright. Okay, so basically the video is about Navy SEAL training program called drown proofing. As we can observe, not all applicants were able to survive the training, but some of those was able to survive. Why is that? Why do you think some failed and some of them survived the training? Alright? Alright, anyone who can share their ideas? Alright, so let's just chunk it up. Let's start with the ones who were not able to survive the training. As you can see, or as you can observe, they are the one who is still trying hard to swim, even though at the back of their head, their hands and feet were being tied up. Right? Obviously, how can you swim? How can you swim kung nakatali mga kamay at pao? Diba? Pero ang ginawa nila, pinilit pa rin nilang lumangoy. As a result, they failed the training. But on the other hand, the ones who were able to survive or pass the training were the ones who definitely didn't even try to swim. Right? Hinahayaan lang nila lumubog ang katawan nila sa tubig. At pag naabot na nila yung pinakadulo o yung sahig ng pool, anong gagawin nila? Sisipa lang sila, class. And then, kukuha ng hangin sa taas. That's how it goes. So what am I heading off? What am I heading off? You guys any idea? Right? Have you experienced in life that sometimes the more that we eat, the more that we are trying hard to get things or to achieve certain goals in life, the result was opposite. We are pushing so much harder for ourselves in order to achieve the goal. But then we fail. Right? Have you realized that sometimes all we need is just letting go things? We're trying to step back. Letting go things or stepping back on a specific venture that doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything, right? You don't have to do anything. It only means that once you step back, you can see the bigger picture. You can see how things goes. You figure things out. You can think clearly. Like the one who survived the training. I believe they were able to think clearly to survive the training. And I also believe that our lesson for today will help us on how we can think clearly. And here it is. Our lesson for today is about introduction to philosophy of human person. When you hear the word philosophy, what comes to your mind? Anyone? Alright, that is a good answer. Thank you for that. Whoa! Anyone who can try? Okay. Alright, but before that, in this lesson, we're going to discuss about definition of philosophy, characteristics of philosophy, and significance of philosophy in our life. Okay? Alright, since you have mentioned a moment ago your thoughts when you hear the word philosophy, let's just try to, chunk it out. Philosophy came from the Greek word philos and sophias. Philos, which means love. Let's start on that. Love. Love. Is there anyone here who can define love? Anyone? So I assume that each one of you experienced to be loved or to be in love. Isn't it? Okay. Alright, so can you please give a shot? What is love? How do you define love? Alright, thank you for that wonderful answers. Whoa! How about anyone? Okay, thank you for that. Alright, for me, love is something that you are into it. Right? When you say love, this is something that you're into it. You are willing to sacrifice time. You are willing to give your time into it. You are willing to burn sweat and blood for it. For example, a painter. Obviously, they spend so much time paintings. They are burning sweat and blood doing their arts, doing their artwork, right? And for someone, if you love someone, right? If you love someone, you are also willing to sacrifice your time and give your time for that someone and do whatever it takes. takes. Do whatever it takes. Alright. Alright, kidding aside. Let's move forward to wisdom. So, do you guys have any idea what wisdom is? Anyone? Alright. Please stand. Thank you for that answer. Alright, wisdom. When we say wisdom, I believe that we can only gain wisdom through our previous experiences in life, such as failures, mistakes in life, and all the learnings that we acquired before, right? Because from our previous experiences, especially if we are been through a lot of mistakes or struggles, we had a lot of learnings. And for me, that is the moment or time that you can gain quality knowledge. Quality knowledge. That is wisdom. Quality knowledge. Right? In order for you to have a good judgment or decision making in the near future, that wisdom is for me. Okay? Alright. And it also says here that philosophy is a science of thinking. Why do you think philosophy is a science of thinking? Anyone? Okay. Alright. I'll give you an example why philosophy is a science of thinking. Imagine a scientist. Right. Scientists always ask questions or didn't stop doing some trial and error on their experiments just to formulate the correct formula or to achieve a concrete theory. That's what scientists do. Right? On the other hand, philosophy is also doing the same thing. When we say philosophy, it constantly asks questions, seek answers, seek reasons, investigate what are the reasons behind all those things. Like for example, our existence in life, our purpose in life, why am I here? That is philosophy. It never stops. Ask questions and seek for answers. That's what philosophy is. Alright, and it also states here that it involves human reason to investigate the causes, reason. Yeah, I have also mentioned that a moment ago, that philosophy is concerned for constantly asking questions and seek for answers. That philosophy is. Alright, am I clear on that? Am I clear on that? Anyone who wants to share their thoughts or knowledge, or do you have any questions regarding the definition of philosophy? Alright, I believe that we can now move forward to our next slide, and the next slide would be characteristics of philosophy. Philosophy can be seen in three characteristics, and these are philosophy as a framework, philosophy as a discipline, and philosophy as an examination of knowledge. First up, right? Let's start with philosophy as a framework. What comes in your mind, class, when you hear the word framework? Anyone? Framework. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that wonderful answer. How about anyone? You can give a shot. And what comes in your mind when you hear the word framework? Okay. Alright. Thank you for all your answers. So framework, I'll give you an example of that. In research or thesis, we have a conceptual framework, right? Conceptual framework. Doon sa conceptual framework na ito, ito yung nagsisilbi nating guide para sa studies natin. Ano man ang mangyari sa research natin, dito pa rin tayo babase at ito ang magsisilbi nating guide. Kasi guys, nandito yung flow chart ng ating studies. Right? Diyan mo makikita yung result, examine, diyan lahat yun. Or I'll give you another example. Imagine a house that is being built. Right? You can see a skeleton house or yung mga frame lang na nasa gilid or yung mga foundation at yung frame yung nagsisilbing foundation ng isang bahay or any establishment na makapagpatibay dito. Yung frame ang makapatibay dito. Right? Frame yung nagsisilbing foundation ng isang establishment or bahay or building. Right? At dito nagbabase yung mga carpenter kung ano yung gagawin nila next step. Kasi basically, hindi ka pwede magpa-third floor ng isang establishment or building or bahay kung ang foundation mo or pundasyon mo ay pang first floor lang. Did you get my point? Am I clear on that? Am I making any sense? Right? So, philosophy is a framework, meaning to say this is our guide. This is the framework. Yeah? Philosophy is like that. It serves as a guide in our daily life in order for us to see things clearly, in order for us to have a good judgment, to have a good decision making, and all our decisions, we anchor all our decisions based on the existing framework that may lead us with solution to our problems. That's why philosophy considered as a foundation or as a framework. And we're clear on that. So next up, we have philosophy as an examination of knowledge. This is very interesting for me. Why do you think philosophy is an examination of knowledge or considered as an examination of knowledge? Is there anyone who can give a try? Right? Thank you for all your answers. Really appreciate that, or I really appreciate that. Alright, philosophy as an examination of knowledge. Basically, I'll give you a scenario example. If someone gave us a food, kakainin nyo ba agad ito? Hindi, seryoso. Ikaw bigyan ka ng kung sino man, o kaibigan mo o sino man, ng pagkain. Kakainin mo ba agad ito? Nang walang pagdadalawang isip. Kakainin mo agad ito? Di ba hindi naman? Nandyan yung magtatanong tayo. Ay, ano to? Ano pagkain to? Minsan pa nga aamoy yung panga natin eh. Then we decide kung kakainin ba natin to o hindi. Philosophy is like that. We are always examining our knowledge to determine which is relevant in our life or which is not. Which knowledge or information that we can use in our daily life or help us to improve our life personally, individually, or professionally. That's why philosophy always examines our knowledge. Alright? Okay. Last one. Philosophy as a discipline. This one is, this is huge. Philosophy as a discipline. I believe that philosophy is the foundation of all disciplines. Right? Or the mother of all disciplines. Do you think, guys, education, psychology, or science will work without a touch of philosophy? Do you think will work? Do you think that an educator will be an educator without a touch of philosophy? Do you think a scientist will become a scientist without a touch of philosophy? Alright. Do you think an educator can be an educator if he is not, or if he can think rationally? If he has, if he don't have any critical thinking skills, if they don't think critically, rather, do you think it is? Yeah. Can we imagine psychology, science without touch of philosophy? That's why I believe that philosophy is the mother of discipline. Like, I'll give you an analogy. For example, a mother and a baby. Yung mga nanay na nagpapag-breastfeed sa kanilang mga anak, ito yung nanay yung nagsisilbing. Sabihin natin, ito yung philosophy, yung nanay. And then, yung psychology, yung education, yung science, lahat dyan nagbase dito sa kanyang nanay. Diyan sila kumuha ng knowledge sa kanyang nanay. It can be seen as that. Right? Am I getting it right? Do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns? None? None so far? Alright, we can now move forward. Alright. And lastly, significance of philosophy. Number 1, you can read. Right, thank you for that. You may now take your seat. It says that philosophy helps us with critical thinking. Do you believe in that? You definitely believe in that. Yeah, anyone at the back? Alright, when we say critical thinking and reasoning, let's first go with critical thinking. What comes in your mind when you hear the word critical thinking? It simply means that we are questioning the existing statement. We are analyzing a specific statement. Like, for example, in a multiple choice exam, we are not answering what we've hindi tayo nagsasagot na agad o pipili ng o bibilugan ng A o B o C. Susuriin pa natin ito mabuti kahit pakiramdam natin ang tamang sagot ay A. I-analyze pa natin ito. We are pinopostpone natin ang judgment. That is critical thinking, right? And also, philosophy will help us with our reasoning skills because it will help us to think logically and rationally, right? Before we decide, we have to analyze things, understand different perspective before we decide and came up with a good reason. Alright? Anyone who can add on that? Do you have any questions? None so far? Okay, let's move for the next one. It also says here that philosophy can be applied in all discipline. As I have mentioned a moment ago, all discipline has a touch of philosophy. All disciplines, whether you like it or not, all of disciplines has a touch of philosophy. Whether it be psychology, education, dyan naman simula natin sa philosophy. Dahil sa mga philosopher natin, kung di sila nagsunog ng kilay para mag-criticize sa mga bagay o para o magutom sa paghanap ng sagot, hindi mabubuo itong mga education, psychology, science. Itong lahat ng ito ay nakaapla sa philosophy. At dahil ito sa mga philosopher natin na nagsimula na lahat. That's why philosophy can be applied to any discipline. Right? And also, next one, philosophy helps us to sort our own beliefs. as we have mentioned a moment ago, philosophy will help us to determine or examine our beliefs or knowledge in order for us to figure out which is relevant or essential lugaw, essential for us, essential in our life, right? It will help us to sort our beliefs, to eliminate the one who is not useful, and to sustain what are the useful knowledge and beliefs that could help us as an individual or professional, right? I think that's it. And lastly, philosophy, not last, going next stop, philosophy influences the world today. Why do you think philosophy influences the world today? Anyone? Alright, I'll just give you a question. Do you think that our world will work without philosophy? Do you think that leaders who cannot think rationally or logically can run a specific country? Do you think that the country will be successful if our leaders doesn't have any philosophical sense when it comes to decision making? Do you think the world will work today? Do you think it is? If our leaders can think rationally, logically, and cannot think critically or reasonably, because being a critical thinker, being reasonable, it all boils down to philosophy. That's why philosophy plays a big role in today's world. Right? Am I getting it right? Do you guys any suggestions or questions? Alright, none for now. And lastly, this is for me one of the difficult part on the subject. Philosophy can fuel change and progress. What does it mean? Why do you think, guys, philosophy can fuel change and progress? Ito rin pwedeng maging gasolina. Kumbaga sa isang sasakyan, philosophy yung gasolina para umandar ang isang sasakyan at magturo sa pagbabago at magkaroon ng progreso. It is simply because philosophy will always encourage us to take a deeper look into an argument on something that we are interested in, and from there change and progress is being made. Did you get it right? Do you have any questions? Yeah, change and progress enable for us to achieve self-improvement. We have to think rationally, we have to think logically, we have to think critically in order for us to achieve self-improvement, and that is part of change and progress, and it all anchors again to philosophy. Does that make sense, guys? Alright, do you have any question, class? None so far? Alright, thank you very much for listening. This has been your teacher, Ginoong Maging. Thank you and have a good day.